is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Disappointment for Team Bahamas so far at the Olympics. A Jamaican man wrongfully detained gets $2 million in damages. And former Prime Minister Perry Christie recovering in the hospital after undergoing a heart procedure. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, August 6th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be here filling in for Duquesa Dean today. Also this morning, we're going to be talking with St. Matthew's Anglican Church about their Talent Explosion 2024 that's coming up. And in business, we're talking with the Bahamas Reparations Committee, which is relaunching. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. And in the overnight, more bad news for the Bahamas and Team Bahamas as two-time Olympic champion in the women's 400-meter Shanae Miller stopped in her tracks in the open round heats of that event and walked to the finish line at the Olympics in Paris, France. Just moments ago in the repechage, she finished ninth in 53.80 seconds, ending her bid for a third 400-meter championship. It came after the Bahamas' best hope for a medal at the 2024 Olympics went up in smoke on Sunday as defending champion Stephen Gardner pulled out of the men's 400 meters. Miller had injury concerns coming into the Paris Olympic Games. She declined to comment in the mixed zone afterward yesterday. And the B3A's, the Bahamas Association of Athletic Associations Senior and Junior National Championships in June, Miller finished second in her heat of the women's 400 meters and didn't show for the final. However, she qualified for the Olympics through the World Athletic Ranking System, thereby still making her eligible to go after a third straight Olympic title. Gardner's decision to pull out shocked everyone, most of whom, including the media, had no idea of the no-show until the athletes for the fourth heat of the opening round of the men's 400 meters walked out on the track. Shortly afterwards, that DNS symbol, did not start, showed up on the giant screens in the stadium. Gardner's management team releasing a statement in the wee hours of Monday morning in Paris, saying that Gardner was unable to compete as he was experiencing discomfort in his ankle and surrounding tendon. Well, now the Bahamas' best hope for a medal at the Games rests on the shoulders of world indoor champion and world indoor record holder in the women's 60-meter hurdles, Devon Charlton. She, along with Denisha Cartwright and Charisma Taylor, will run in the heats of that event Wednesday. More on this in sports in just a moment. A Jamaican man who was wrongfully held on remand in prison for nearly 10 years has been awarded $2 million in damages. Matthew Sewell was 18 when he arrived in the Bahamas in June 2006 to visit his father. Days after his arrival, he was arrested for the rape of a minor and spent 2 years on remand until he was given bail in May 2008. He was arrested again in April 2009 on another rape charge and remained in prison until he got bail in August 2013. Both rape complaints were later dismissed. In 2013, Sewell was arrested again, this time for murder and housebreaking. When he appeared in court, the murder charge was dropped because he was incarcerated at the time of the murder. However, he pleaded not guilty to the housebreaking charge and remained in prison until that charge was dismissed in March 2014. The court issued 2 discharge certificates to Sewell, but a police officer took the certificates from him and tore them up, telling him that he would go to jail and that he was arrested a month later and transferred to the Carmichael Road Detention Center. In October 2015, a judge granted a writ of habeas corpus. During his trial, Sewell told the court that during his time in prison, he was raped, beaten, bitten by a rat, and had to share an 8x8 cell with other prisoners and defecate in a bucket or a bread bag. He said he was given limited time outdoors and had to sleep on concrete. He said he was beaten by police, prison officers, prisoners, and Defense Force officers. In August 2nd, 2024, a Supreme Court ruling prepared by retired Justice Ruth Bo Darville was noted that the court was amenable to accepting the stated difficulties that the Attorney General's office had in mounting its defense and complying with the court's direction. However, it came to a point where the inability of the defendant's counsel to comply with the court's directions and their failure to even secure a witness statement from one of the defendants left the court no other alternative but to accede to the plaintiff's application to strike out the defense. You can read more about this unbelievable case in today's Nassau Guardian. A woman who kidnapped 4 young boys and attempted to abduct a 5th boy in 2019 successfully completed her 3 years of probation last week without incident. Deidre Gibson received the sentence as part of a plea deal in July 2021. Gibson snatched an 8-year-old boy from in front of his home on February 6, 2019. She dropped the child off at the Sunrise Laundromat on Joe Farrington Road the following day. She struck again a few weeks later. On March 6th, she lured an 8-year-old boy who was playing basketball into her car. She drove to the city dump and told him to get out of the car. The following day, Gibson offered another 8-year-old boy who was walking home. She took him to the dump. And on March 29th, Gibson picked up an 8-year-old from Lumumba Lane and dropped him also at the dump. While on bail for those offenses, Gibson attempted to abduct a 7-year-old student at Sandilands Primary as he walked to school with his uncle on December 9th, 2019. Gibson had the boy partly in her vehicle when his uncle was able to wrest him away. She faced a 2-year prison sentence for breaching the terms of her probation. Gibson, who has a history of mental illness, was required to attend outpatient psychiatric sessions, and progress reports were sent to the court. And a woman dropping an indecent assault case against the teenage son of an Albany top executive. Spencer Peter Charrington, 19, son of Peter Charrington, was arraigned on allegations that he'd groped Diana Lisovaya at an all-white Moulin Rouge-themed party at the Albany Resort on New Year's Day. Charrington pleaded not guilty, and moments later, the Sauveya took the witness stand and told Chief Magistrate Roberta Reckley that she no longer wanted to proceed with the case. Reckley, who also canceled a warrant that was issued for Charrington's arrest on June 27th after he was a no-show for his arraignment. Charrington's lawyer said that he didn't deliberately skip court, but he hadn't been informed of the date. And former Prime Minister Perry Christie is recovering in a doctor's hospital after undergoing a corrective heart procedure. Communications Director in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrell Ramming, said in a statement Sunday that the 80-year-old Christie was admitted to the hospital on Saturday after experiencing symptoms of an acute heart condition. He said that Christie was convalescing remarkably well after having corrective procedures, which were performed by Dr. Bimal Francis. A statement issued by the Christie family later on Sunday said the former Prime Minister was feeling upbeat and was again progressing extremely well. Christie expected to remain in the hospital for a few more days as he looks forward to a complete recovery. Overseas, Tropical Storm Debbie moving menacingly into some of the United States' most historic southern cities and was expected to bring prolonged downpours and flooding throughout the day today after slamming into Florida and prompting the rescue of hundreds from flooded rain from the storm that killed at least 5 people Monday. It was causing flash flooding with up to 30 inches possible in some areas, according to the National Hurricane Center. Flash flood warnings were issued in Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, South Carolina, among other areas of coastal Georgia and South Carolina. Both Savannah and Charleston announced curfews Monday night into Tuesday. In South Carolina, Charleston County Interim Emergency Director Ben Webster calling Debbie, quote, an historic and potentially unprecedented event 3 times in a 90-second briefing hearing. In addition to the curfew, the city of Charleston's emergency plan includes sandbags for residents, opening parking garages so residents can park their cars above floodwaters, and an online mapping system that shows which roads are closed due to flooding. And Bangladesh's president dissolving parliament today, clearing the way for new elections to replace the longtime prime minister who resigned and fled the country following weeks of demonstrations against her rule that descended into violent unrest. The president also ordering the opposition leader released from house arrest. Khalida Zia, a longtime rival of the ousted prime minister Sheikh Hasina, was convicted on corruption charges by Hasina's government in 2018. The streets of Dhaka appeared calmer today with no reports of new violence as jubilant protesters thronged the ousted leader's residence. Some posed for selfies with soldiers guarding the building where a day earlier angry protesters had looted furniture, paintings, flower pots, and chickens. As the country waited for a new government to emerge, a key student leader said protesters wanted Nobel Peace Prize laureate Mohamed Yunus to head an interim government. Yunus, who is currently in Paris for the Olympics, called Hasina's resignation the country's second Liberation Day. He could not immediately be reached for comment from the Associated Press, but student leader Nahid Islam said Yunus had agreed. More from the Paris Olympics and Team Bahamas. Ken Mullings, a standout athlete for Team Bahamas at the Olympics in Paris, regardless of how the team finishes. Mullings all 10 events in the decathlon, scoring a lifetime best, finishing 13th overall out of 22 competitors with a new national record of 8,226 points, hitting personal best marks in 2 events and recording season's best performances in 2 others. Mullings' score broke the national record of 8,182 points that was set by Kendrick Thompson last year. You can read more about Mullings' feat in today's Guardian Sports section. And Bahamian charisma Taylor had one of her better performances in the triple jump competition Friday, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to get her into the final of that event on Saturday. Taylor had a best leap of 14.01 meters. She finished 15th out of 31 jumpers in the women's triple jump. And the International Boxing Association raising new questions while struggling to answer others at a shambolic news conference about the opaque eligibility test that led the Olympics' banned governing body to abruptly suspend Himane Khalif and Ling Yu-ting from last year's World Championships, a decision that has fueled online abuse against the women during the Paris Games. The IBA still refused to disclose nearly all details about the tests and their results or methodologies, leading to the disqualifications of Khalif from Algeria and Lin of Taiwan. Those decisions catalyzed a major uproar in Paris around the two boxers who have clinched Olympic medals despite facing rampant misconceptions about their gender amid a wider divide over gender regulations and identity in sports. The IBA Secretary General and CEO Chris Roberts claimed that the Olympic committees of Algeria and Taiwan wrote letters to the IBA asking them not to disclose information about the boxers at the news conference in Paris. What information it did reveal about the test was mostly not flattering to the governing body, which received an unprecedented banishment from the Olympics last year, following decades of troubled governance and long-standing accusations of a thorough lack of normal transparency. The former chair of its medical committee, a Greek obstetrician named Ioannis Philippatos, said the IBA did blood tests only on 4 of the hundreds of fighters at the 2022 World Championships. The IBA said it tested Khalif and Lin in response to complaints from other teams, apparently acknowledging an uneven standard of profiling that is considered widely unacceptable in sports. IBA President Umar Kremlev, an acquaintance of Russian President Vladimir Putin, who spoke on a patchy Zoom from Russia, then said through a translator that the test showed elevated levels of testosterone. That appears in direct contradiction with an IBA statement from July 31st when it said Khalif and Lin did not undergo a testosterone examination but were subject to a separate and recognized test whereby the specifics remained confidential. The IBA also giving an explanation as to why the boxers could have failed an eligibility test in 2022 but were somehow not suspended from competition until the middle of the World Championships a full year later. Robert says there wasn't time to administer a required second test at the 2022 tournament, and the IBA could only do the 2 tests at the 2023 championships. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Any weather for today, we've got a high pressure ridge extending across the area that's going to dominate weather across the Bahamas as trailing moisture from Tropical Storm Debbie will continue to support pockets of showers and thunderstorms, mainly across the northwest Bahamas today. Due to heat indices expected to be in the triple digits today, everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and to wear loose-fitting clothing and sunscreen and take frequent breaks when outdoors during peak sunshine hours. The northwest Bahamas residents there should remain alert as there's potential for strong thunderstorms expected to move through the area in the outer rain bands of Tropical Storm Debbie. Beachgoers should not venture into waters across the extreme northwest Bahamas and into Atlantic exposures due to the risk from rip currents and dangerous surf. And there's potential for localized flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas during heavy and prolonged rainfall events today in the northwest Bahamas. Your forecast for today for the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny, warm, and breezy with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, occasionally in bands. Expect some locally heavy showers and a few strong thunderstorms at times. Small craft should exercise caution. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds south-southeast to south-southwest at 15 to 20 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet near shore, building up to 7 feet offshore and along Atlantic exposures. For the central and southeast Bahamas today, partly mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with a chance of a few isolated showers. Small craft caution in effect. Winds east to south East at 10 to 15 knots at 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet, slightly higher in Atlantic exposures. Temperatures today, right now we're looking at highs getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But the heat index will make it feel like it's 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Currently in Nassau, it is about 84 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. 84 in Freeport. Partly sunny. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up in our next weather check.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories. And we'll get the very latest from Sheldon Longley in Paris at the Olympics. Right here on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Attention, all fall 2024 applicants to University of the Bahamas. The new academic year is fast approaching and we're thrilled to welcome you to UB. But first, we need your help. If you've started your online application, now is the time to submit all outstanding supporting documents. Make sure to send in your transcripts and copies of relevant passport pages urgently. To secure your acceptance to UB, your application must be fully processed. And remember to keep checking your emails for important updates and reminders. Orientation and advisement for new students kicks off on Wednesday, August 7th, and classes begin Monday, August 19th. This message is brought to you by the Office of Recruitment and Admissions at University of the Bahamas.
A vibrant rhythm, a symphony of resilience. We've grown from bankers to neighbors to friends. Together, we build a future as bright as our sun. I am 242. You are 242. We are 242. Scotiabank is proud to be Bahamian.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Bay Street Garage Limited, part of the car care culture of the Bahamas for almost a century. If you drive a car, truck, bus, or boat, if you need to service it, repair it, or sell it, from alternators to air fresheners, brake pads to bulbs, coolants to calipers, we have the lubricants and the tools to make it happen. Bay Street Garage Limited, BSG. WhatsApp us at 421-1050. That's 421-1050.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Plenty Plan. Dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Plenty Plan. Island Game, we got you. Percy's Plenty Plan. From the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969 or text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, filling in for DeQuesadine, we've got Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
I'm doing well. Great to have you with us this morning.
Good to be here.
You know, we have a lot to talk about, and you've been right there having quite a weekend along with me. Hope your holiday was good, though.
We've been in this together.
Yeah, we've been messaging each other back and forth all weekend long over the Olympics. We're going to get into that in a bit. Also this morning, we're going to talk with, we're going to take a little break from our Olympic talk to talk with St. Matthew's Church. They have a talent explosion. In just a few days, we'll get the details. And then later, it was relaunched, although I didn't think it went anywhere, but the Bahamas Reparations Committee, they'll explain what that means a little later in our business hour. That's all ahead. But right now, let's get into what's in the news. And in the news, we're going to be talking about the Olympics this morning, but this story, you must get today's NASA Guardian to read about this story. This really is head-scratching. Everything here about this man who was wrongfully detained for many years, nearly 10 years, and who's been awarded $2 million in damages now. And all the stuff he was accused of, and all the things that he says happened to him in prison. I'm at a loss for words. If we had more time, we'd get into this today as well. But maybe later in the show or tomorrow. But this is a wild story, and you need to pick up today's National Guardian to read all about it. All right. But we're talking about the Olympics and the Paris Olympics, and it has been the track, the athletics portion has been very exciting and filled with controversy, confusion, even chaos, some might say. It's just lots of surprises every day for Team Jamaica and Team Bahamas. Definitely, we're all confused as to some of the things that have been happening over the past few days, and we're going to get right into it with the latest development this morning at around 5:30 our time with Shanae Miller-Weibo. Before we get to that, the first text coming in. Dwight, I don't know what this means. Depending on your answer, they may not listen to the show anymore, Laverne, but is Laverne Gardner related to Stephen Gardner?
I am not.
Is your husband, Mr. Gardner, related to Stephen Gardner?
Not that we're aware of.
Okay, right. Well, there you go, texter. Okay. So, again, we're going to go to Sheldon Longley in Paris, who has the very latest on what's going on. I'm not sure how to begin this if you haven't been paying attention. But Shanae ran yesterday and did not finish the race.
Correct.
Claiming that, she's been injured all year, and we assumed that was what it was. And there was a statement issued later saying pretty much the same, but she did walk the rest of the race. She did about 200 meters and walked the rest of the 200 meters. Right. And then later in the day, we were surprised to hear that she'd be taking part in the repechage, right? That gave all the other athletes who didn't do their best or didn't finish how they wanted a chance to do it over. No?
Not all.
Not all.
Depends on how close your
Yes.
time was to the qualifying time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love the definition of repechage. It's a trial heat in which the first round losers are given another chance to qualify for the semifinals.
Right. And this is new to the Olympics, too.
Seems so, yes. Maybe not new to track and field, but in general, but to the Olympics.
We've never seen this before. The only time we've seen a race run over is if a country protested,
right,
and they won the protest and they were able to run. I think we saw. I don't know if it was the Olympics. It may have been Tokyo Olympics with the U.S. and they did a protest, but this repechage we've never seen before.
Right. So
at the Olympics.
And Shanae was into the second one, I believe. Was it the second or was it? Mm-hmm. Yes. And Sheldon's going to tell us more in this report.
Good day, Bombers. This is Sheldon Lonely coming to you live from the games of the 33rd Olympiad here in Paris, France. I am right here sitting right now in the Stade de France. We had two athletes run in the repechage rounds. Shanae Miller-Weibo in the women's 400 meters. She was 7th in her heat in 53.80 seconds. Obviously not in tip-top shape, not in the type of shape to be running at this level meet, the Olympics, biggest competition in the world. 7th in the heat, 53.80 seconds. The repechage rounds are another section of the track and field competition that allows athletes who wouldn't have qualified for the semifinals in the first round another opportunity to make it through the semifinals. But Shanae, obviously not in tip-top condition, like I said, running 53.80 seconds, finishing 7th in the heat, and she will not move on, which means her shot at going after 3 straight Olympic titles is now over, is officially over, and she fails to become the first woman in history to win 3 straight Olympic titles. That would have been huge, but like I said, obviously not in tip-top condition at this particular time. We had another Bahamian running in the 200 meters, the men's 200 meters repechage rounds. That was Ian Kerr. He just finished third in his repechage round heat in 20.40 seconds. So he too will not be moving on to the semifinals. It was a good run by Ian. He was right up there with the leaders in that race, but just couldn't really pull it off. Only the top finisher in each heat and the next two fastest times moved on to the semifinals, and Ian just falling a little bit short. There are no more athletes in action today for the Bahamas, but a full day tomorrow. We have Donald Thomas will be in the qualifying rounds of the men's high jump tomorrow. We'll also have our three hurdles in action in the women's 100-meter hurdles. Devon Charlton, Denisha Cartwright, and Charisma Taylor. We'll also have Rima Otobor in action in the qualifying round of the women's javelin. Anton Andrews, he will be in action, the semifinal of the men's 110-meter hurdles. And finally, Wanye McCoy, he will also be in action in the semifinal of the men's 200 meters. So a lot of action on tap for tomorrow. A lot of Bahamians taking part in this competition here at the Olympic Games. This is Sheldon Longley coming to you live from the Games of the 33rd Olympiad in Paris, France.
Okay. Thanks to Sheldon there. He's going to be keeping us posted. And tomorrow's going to be a big day for Team Bahamas. So you heard that. All hope is not lost. I know a lot of people.
We still have athletes who are competing,
yes.
And so we have to continue to support them.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of, our disappointment, because I think we figured Stephen and Shawnee would have been our best shot at getting a medal.
Yeah. Yeah, especially Stephen. We knew Shawnee had issues this year.
Yeah.
But definitely Stephen.
And I know. Personally, I was surprised, Dwight, as you know, that she even came out on the track on Monday morning.
Yeah, and especially surprised today because she's...
And I think she just I think today was about her just trying to finish in a way that was better than Monday.
Yeah. Boy.
Because you could just see that was not a healthy Shawnee on that track.
Yeah, definitely. So if you missed what happened with Stephen, this was over the weekend. Gardner's decision to pull out shocked everyone. He pulled out. He did not even start. So at least Shawnee was at the track and in the blocks and took off. Stephen just walked off. And everyone was shocked, including the media. This is according to Sheldon's article in today's Nassau Guardian. The media had no idea of the no-show until the athletes for the fourth heat of the opening round of the men's 400 meters walked out on the track. Shortly afterwards, the DNS, symbolizing did not start, showed up on the jumbo screen in the stadium.
I don't think it was just the media who was surprised. I think everybody, including Team Bahamas, if voice notes are to be believed.
Yeah, but I think he's trying to say that they were right there. Because we're miles away. And of course, we won't know. But the media is right there in front of his face and couldn't understand what was going on. So that's just how bad it was. Gardner's management team released a statement in the wee hours of Monday morning in Paris saying, quote, "Please know that Stephen Gardner was unable to compete today as he was experiencing discomfort in his ankle and surrounding tendon. Despite his best efforts, he could not overcome the pain." According to Chief Executive Officer of On Track Management Incorporated, Claude Bryan, Gardner's management team. The statement says he wishes to convey his thanks to the Bahamian people for all of the concerns and prayers. This is Stephen. This constitutes On Track Management's only comment on this matter. That's the statement. Wow, okay. Well, as you heard Sheldon Longley say there, we've still got the hurdles. We still got Wanya McCoy in the 200 meters. Yeah. So that's going to be exciting. Valiant efforts there by Ian Kerr and Charisma Taylor so far with the triple jump. That was pretty, interesting for her there, but still a chance for her in the hurdles as well. She's quite an athlete. Yeah. So let's get your reaction to that, and then we'll get to what people were saying over the weekend, including former Olympian and superstar Pauline Davis Thompson, her comments. Let's get to your reaction to this so far. And let's put that into the context of what's happening with Team Jamaica. Many, many issues. This is, I think they're saying, the first time since the 70s that Jamaica won't get a medal in the 200 meters.
Yeah.
And that's crazy, right?
I don't know. It's been interesting,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word, this Olympic Games with not just our country, with Jamaica. I'd said to you, it's like this Olympic is the Olympic of new faces because we've been seeing some new faces pop up and do very well. It wasn't the norm. We've gotten accustomed to seeing certain people out on the track, and it just was not happening.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's what happens, eh? But something very, very unusual an interesting statement from Pauline Davis on her Facebook page. She wrote, and this was widely circulated yesterday and got quite a few people angry, including Shawnee Miller, who had some stuff to say about it in various sporting WhatsApp chats. And when you send a voice note in a WhatsApp group, you send it to the whole universe.
Yeah. When you send a voice note in a WhatsApp chat, or you're just basically saying, just share it with everyone.
Yeah, right. It's a megaphone to the stars.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, okay. So Pauline wrote, my dear fellow Bahamians, I completely understand the importance of health in all sporting endeavors, but it comes down to this: respect in capital letters. Respect for your country, respect for your fellow athletes, coaches, and your people. Never do you not show on the line without explaining beforehand. If you are injured, pass the baton to others. Do not come to the games. Today I cried for my Bahama land. I feel the tears of my fellow countrymen and women. My heart aches. It's not about the medals, it's about respect and love for our Bahamas. Love you always, my beautiful Bahamas. You will always come first for me, Pauline. Wow. Let's get your comments to all of it, your reaction to all of it, folks. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. What's your reaction to that, Laverne? Pauline's statement there. Explain yourself. Don't show up if you, right? Beforehand.
Right. And
respect.
And I think because I read that and then I read some people's reaction to it. Oh, you want people to run hurt. And that's not what she's saying. She's saying if you are injured, if for some reason, just let us know. And I think we know the whole situation because there was really only one athlete that I believe that was directed at. Because for all intents and purposes, whether we made it to the finals or not, all of the other athletes showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was directed, I believe, that comment, while a public comment, was really directed at one athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was one athlete that we didn't know. They checked in, he checked in, Stephen Gardner checked in. So for all intents and purposes, he was supposed to run. He checked in, and then they were saying initially he just disappeared. Nobody knew. And so I think the point of what she's saying is, if, hey, like his management team released hours later, why not say, hey, right then and there, I don't think I can do this. I don't want to risk further damage. My ankle, the tendon surrounding it. And then at least we know, okay, this is what happened, as opposed to people saying, well, what happened? He was here, he checked in, we don't know where he went. And I think that was the point that she was trying to make. But then, of course, it's all interpretation, and then it started going way left. But from what I read and from what I understood, what she was saying, it had nothing to do with wanting athletes to run injured. It was more about if you were injured or for some reason you cannot do what you thought you could do, at least let those in authority know
Yeah.
so that they are aware
Yeah,
of what's
absolutely.
happening with you. And I
Absolutely.
think that is just more than fair.
Yeah.
That is more than fair. Whatever your personal opinions are, had she chosen that, did she choose the right platform to say it? Well, we say everything, right? On these social media platforms. But I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that would have been
Absolutely.
the correct way to handle it.
And
Not
folks have.
minimizing his injury or anything like that. But I think that should have been the thing.
Yeah.
Because the management team, they knew what was happening. Just say to those, the officials, say to those in our, in Team Bahamas, whoever you need, who's in authority, this is what's happening. We won't be able to go.
Right. And people just respect, as Pauline said, to the country.
People,
you have sponsors as well.
Understand that.
You've got sponsors as well. You gotta, come on, what are you doing? You gotta say something.
We would be disappointed, but we would understand it.
Yeah. Let's get some of your text messages in. Again, 422-4796. 422 give us a call. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. This person says here, I could not have said it better myself. By the way, she's a Phoenix. Our people, they talk bad about ask all our living PMs and former MPs. It's just the way it is, I guess. Okay, I'm losing me there. But
I'm not clear on that.
No, not clear at all. But at least the beginning part could not have said it better themselves. All right. This texter says here, Stephen and Shanae have nothing to explain to anyone. The fake Bahamians or the government don't really care for the country either. The athletes are the most medals in any country with under 1 million people. It's fake Bahamians that don't like that we are struggling. Get up off your bungie and run. What? Okay. Yeah. I don't know if it's fake Bahamians. I'm sure some people are. Of course, there's fake people all around, but people are, But I mean, it would be nice to say, hey, I mean, Shanae did it right. Shanae did it right.
And let me just say that there is a level of accountability. See, let's call a spade a spade. If you are a part of a team representing your country, there is a level of accountability. Again, nobody is saying that anyone should compete when they are injured. That's not. But you are traveling with this body. And there is a level of accountability. You should do the responsible thing. Just like your management team released that hours later, your management team could have had a private conversation with whomever's in authority for us, the BOC or whomever, and say, here's the situation. I don't think we'll be able to go. So that it wasn't a situation where everybody's like, what happened? Where's Stephen? What's Stephen? That's all.
Yeah. Let's take this call and we'll get back to your messages here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
And good morning, Laverne.
Good morning.
Yeah. Dwight, I commend all of the athletes. They tried their best. We must encourage them. But I still maintain the GNN, Dwight. Still maintain.
Ghetto News Network.
Huh?
Ghetto News Network?
What do you maintain?
Ghetto News Network. Not y'all.
Right.
Because you got some fellas, they misconstrue everything and broke off running with it.
Very much so.
But I still maintain, Dwight, in the Bahamas, we need a sporting school, a sporting academy. They got one school there on World 40, there ain't nothing. Millions of dollars gone wasted. Put those athletes there. Let's start this program going. You understand? We need to start it. So we can have more chemistry when it comes to these teams. We could teach them little manners and little respect, like Pauline said. And you and Dwight can't say it. but I can say it. Love Stephen. Stephen is the best in the world. But in his accomplishment of being the best in the world, he also needs an attitude adjustment. And I've been following Stephen. Stephen have an attitude, and he needs to do something with that. But we love him, though. So he's still our man. Thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Colin.
The part about us having an academy or whatever we want to call it, I absolutely agree with that. It doesn't have to be in New Providence, but have a facility where our athletes, we know who are, you have a scout, we know our up and coming athletes are, and we begin to train them to get them ready, so that we have a continual, like there isn't a gap. Like, okay, when these set of athletes retire, move on, what are we going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was thinking about that yesterday, just looking at how far, diverged from where we were. Think about it. In the 90s, how we had 4 or 5 amazing sprinters in the 100 and the 200 with Pauline and Debbie and Eldise and Chandra and Savathita. Look at that. Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And we aren't there at all. And we don't have many even in the 400.
And that's
what
why
what has changed?
We need, and I'm sure there are athletes, not just in New Providence and other family islands, who may have that potential, but just do not have the opportunity because they don't have the facilities and training available. And so if we are going to continue to compete at high levels, this is something that we need to focus on so that we have a robust program and we're continually training our athletes and making sure that they get all of the training they need, which includes the psychological, the mental part of it. And we have that we could always pull from, right? And so we, like you said, we don't have this where we have Stephen who does the 400, Shawnee. But okay, as Stephen and Shawnee gets older, who else? Who's the backup? Who's after that? We don't have even relay teams. I mean, we had a mixed relay team, but so we need to begin to think about all of that and the way forward. And then also, as you and I said, focus on some other, I know track is a sexy sport. Track is sexy, right? And that draws the attention of everyone. But there are some field events, there are some other sports that we should also be putting our energies into.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about, I think I talked about it last week with you on the show, that there's no way we shouldn't be in 3-on-3 basketball.
We could absolutely do that.
Definitely. That's a very low-hanging fruit there. And next Olympics, come on. Okay, these text messages, you can continue to call in. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. This text says here, the programs are too privatized here, a.k.a. club-oriented. The grassroots have to come from the schools, and I guess they might not have the money to go to a private track club.
And that's why we need this training facility.
Yeah. This texter says here, I agree with Pauline. I was glued to the television for 45 minutes wanting to be a part of the moment and then nothing. Did we expect any better? The team left under a cloud of controversy. The vibe was never right. I bet BOC members are having the time of their lives, though. Oh boy, these athletes don't appear to rate the BOC, and can we blame them? I don't think that is what is behind this.
I don't think it's about them not rating.
Yeah, that's a parallel story, but it's not what the issue is. But it's not good. There are challenges, clearly dark clouds. There are things that need to be addressed, without a doubt. And this person says, not this again. I think this was a snub on the B3As and the BOC for placing the 16-year-old in the competition. Stop now. Come on.
No.
Come on.
I put it in my post, yesterday, Dwight. There's no way that these athletes who, for all intents and purposes, train year round, this is their livelihood, right? Make no mistake about it. This is their livelihood. That they all came together and said, you know what? In protest, I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
No, absolutely not.
believe that.
And this is their reputations, right?
Right.
Shanae really wanted to be a 3-time
Right,
champion.
'cause-
That would have been amazing.
Because look at it, the sentiments, no one's walking around upset at the B3As. No one's walking around upset at the BOC. I mean, and people may make comments. People are actually upset or disappointed in the individual athletes. So yeah, I don't see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Again, call in 323-6232-325-4316, 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. I'm surprised nobody's saying it yet, but funding. Are we not going to talk about that and funding and
Yeah, let's
how
talk about
that
funding.
lottery issue seems like this is a good time to talk about that, how we need to really, really think about this and whether the funding from this can go towards sports and education and maybe culture in the country, a better use of the money that the athletes clearly cannot get from the government all the time. And it shouldn't
Right.
even be expected. But is this not the time to be considering something like that?
Yeah. And I think that story with the athlete, was she the discus thrower or shot put from the U.S., who was just saying that she's here representing her country, but she can't even pay her rent.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so this is a challenge. And I think funding is a big thing for all of our athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, some messages before we go to a break, and we've got another update coming from Sheldon Longley in Paris. We'll get to him in a bit. But this texter says, Stevie ain't had what? What? Stevie ain't had nothing if he wanted that he didn't want to do. Ain't had to do nothing that he didn't want to do. If the management crew decide to tell y'all later, that's on them. And y'all had that brother stop with the attitude nonsense. We all know. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand the text. Just write it in English, please. This person says here, it's like they're trying to be, cool, but it is not coming across. Maybe if you said it, it would make sense. So call in and say it, or write it without that type of language. You know what I mean? Can't get it.
It's not coming together.
No, not at all. It's just cool words strung together. I'm not understanding it. But anyway, I think they're trying to say Steven's a humble guy. All right. This text says, the athletes have realized that winning a medal on the world stage isn't what it is. Governments have little to no regard for their accomplishments. They give you pennies, but have $79 million for consultants. You all are really warped. Come on now. Come on. This might be a part of it. Maybe that's why many of them don't live here, but that is not it. The legacy, the records, that means more than how this country treats them. I guarantee you.
But let's not minimize, though, the impact of how you are treated.
Yeah, but they're not going to not run to spite a country.
Yeah. No,
they're not going to do that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Because, like you say, that's their reputation.
Yeah.
That's their record. I just don't see anybody, especially our athletes, going out there and saying, you know what? Let me show them.
Yeah.
I ain't starting there. You take that.
Billions of people watching me, but I got to show 400,000 people something. Okay.
Y'all watch this.
Right. That's for you, Bahamas.
No.
Take that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Wow.
no.
No. The texter goes on to say, though, these athletes use their own resources, and when they win, then the government wants to claim glory. Reward our athletes better, build facilities to train them. Well, we agree with you on that part. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
100%.
But we need not just the government. They got to do better, and they have plans, and that's questionable. What is the plan when it comes to sports in this country? Right? It's very haphazard, and it's very dependent on the individual. But everybody has the capability to be good at something. And that is not being fostered in our country at all. At all. And that's where the government has fallen and misstepped. But we need corporate Bahamas to step up as well. And we know that is very minimal compared to other places. So we've got lots of issues, and all of us can take responsibility for challenges that we're facing right now. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with a whole lot more of this and get the latest from Sheldon as well. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This one's for the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, man.
The Golden Boys. Yes, man. Our Golden Knights. August 10th, 2012.
We got go.
Can't forget it. Let's do this. KB. Spread news far and wide. Let it be told. Our boys in the 4x4. Our boys in gold. Lift your voices. Shout it big and bold. Bahamas in the 4x4. Bahamas in gold.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
RBC. RBC will find the right loan for all of you with competitive rates and extended terms to suit you. Whether it's for debt consolidation, your next vehicle, or home purchase, sometimes we all need a little more. No matter the reason for the loan, we're here to help you find the solution. RBC. RBC has all the loans for all of you. Let's start with a conversation today.
7:47, time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In real-time traffic at this hour, just got a few hot spots to tell you about. Blue Hill Road seeing some congestion as you get over the hill northbound towards Independence Drive, and near Carmichael Road, you're also going to be seeing a bit of congestion there, and Malcolm Road, that area, looking a bit busy for you. We've got Blue Hill, Tawny Booms Darling Highway and Mile Butler Highway not looking bad at all from any directions as you approach their roundabout. But on Prince Charles Drive, we've got some pockets along the major intersections there, and possibly an issue with the timing of the traffic signal at Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue. That's causing some slow-moving traffic, and Prince Charles and Soldier are looking a bit congested for you. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. That's Morning Blend Traffic, brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a ridge of high pressure extending across the area that will dominate weather across the Bahamas as trailing moisture from Tropical Storm Debbie will continue to support pockets of showers and thunderstorms, mainly across the northwestern islands today. Got a number of warnings as well. Due to heat indices expected to be in the triple digits, everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor exposure. The Northwest Bahamas residents there should be alert as there's a potential for strong thunderstorms expected to move through with the outer rain bands from Debbie, and beachgoers should not venture far from, should not venture into the water at all in the extreme Northwest Bahamas and in Atlantic exposures. We're expecting rip currents and dangerous surf. And there's potential for flooding, localized flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas during heavy and prolonged rainfall events in the Northwest Bahamas. For today, for the northwestern islands, we're looking at partly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, occasionally in bands. Expect some locally heavy showers and a few thunderstorms to be strong at times. Small craft should exercise caution. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. For the central southeast Bahamas, partly mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with a chance of a few isolated showers. Small craft caution in effect. Temperatures today getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index will make you feel it's 106 though. 106 Fahrenheit or 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. In your extended outlook, over the next few days, lingering moisture from Tropical Storm Debbie will showers and thunderstorms across the northwestern islands, while high pressure will dominate the remainder of the islands. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, partly sunny and warm with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, particularly across the northwestern islands. Mostly fair and warm at night. Thursday, partly cloudy and warm with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, particularly across the northwest Bahamas again. mostly fair and warm at night. We've got the latest on Tropical Storm Debbie. We'll give that to you after the 8 o'clock news. Elsewhere, the tropics remain quiet and tropical cyclone formation not expected through the next 7 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this
Real talk.
to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams Bahamas, and you'll surely find color in every day.
Craving something delicious and freshly made? Dunkin' has got you covered all day your way. From savory sausage, egg and cheese to crispy bacon, ham, and even tuna. Our sandwiches are made to order just for you. Choose your favorite. Bagels, croissant, toast, or muffin. Whatever you want, we've got it. Whether it's a classic grilled cheese or a hearty club, your perfect sandwich is just a bite away. Dunkin's fresh, made-to-order sandwiches made all day your way. Only at Dunkin'. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Looking for great device deals and offers this summer? Look no further. Alive has special discounts on the latest smartphones, Ring devices, and accessories. Plus, as an Alive customer, you can expect exclusive yet extra offers and rewards, which means even more value for your money. We're talking more data, prizes, and surprises. Upgrade with us and experience the perfect summer with Alive in store or at bealive.com/deal.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic Eckert battery. This was beautiful. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Hey Bahamas, ready for some eye-openers? Check out 2 brand new books by our legendary 3-time PM, Hubert Ingram. Get the tea on his amazing leadership and courage to buck the system. These books are for you, the game changers, movers and shakers, and anyone passionate about our nation's roots and future. Available now at Dungalik Studios, Logos Bookstore, the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, and Chapter 1 Bookstore. Score your copies today. Celebrate our amazing legacy.
Attention, all fall 2024 applicants to University of the Bahamas. The new academic year is fast approaching and we're thrilled to welcome you to UB. But first, we need your help. If you've started your online application, now is the time to submit all outstanding supporting documents. Make sure to send in your transcripts and copies of relevant passport pages urgently. To secure your acceptance to UB, your application must be fully processed. And remember to keep checking your emails for important updates and reminders. Orientation and advisement for new students kicks off on Wednesday, August 7th, and classes begin Monday, August 19th. This message is brought to you by the Office of Recruitment and Admissions at University of the Bahamas.
Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic is where trusted and best care meets consistency and dedication. Let our expert specialists take you on a healthcare journey where warmth, compassion, and your well-being come first. From diagnosis to prescription, we are with you every step of the way, ensuring your peace of mind. Visit us today at Centerville Medical Center, Collins Avenue and 6th Terrace, and discover quality, compassionate healthcare at Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic.
Congratulations, Bahamas! It's a celebration!
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Tuesday morning. All right, do we have time? Yep. Okay, let's go to this latest update from Sheldon Longley, who is in Paris at the Olympics. Take a listen.
Good day, Bahamas. This is Sheldon Longley once again coming to you live from the games of the 33rd Olympiad here in Paris, France. Standing next to Minister of Youth Sports and Culture, Mario Bola. Let's talk to him and see how he feels about the overall performance of Team Bahamas so far at the Olympics.
To maintain our level of competitiveness at the world stage.
All right, Minister, once again, just give us your overall viewpoint on Team Bahamas' performance so far and what's expected for the next 5 days.
Well, I'm very proud of Team Bahamas and its efforts put forward this far by each and every athlete. I believe that they have all came here to represent themselves and this country, and they've done their best of what they could do thus far. The mere fact that they're able to make it to the Olympics means that they are one of the best in the world, and to be able to put on a Bahamas jersey, represent themselves first and the Bahamas, is what I'm very much proud of. And, the well-being of each athlete is uttermost important. The health, physical health, mental health of our athletes is what we should be more concerned about than anything else. And, as Bahamians, we must be proud of our athletes no matter what they finish inside these events. They come out there and give their best, and that's all we can ask for as a country. And be proud of whatever they finish at, and then hope for better. Remember, this is the best of the best. This is not the best of all. This is not of those who just hope to be here. These are those who deserve to be here. And so you're battling the best of the best, and sometimes you just have to go do your homework and come back and be better. And there were one time ago we couldn't win a medal. The medals now coming in more consistently, and I think now we have put the Bahamian people in a position where they expect great things. But at the same time, we got to remember and understand that sometimes you have peaks, highs, and valleys in everything we do in life. And so, this is could be a rebuilding stage for us. And athletes get older as time goes on, and the body reacts differently to injuries. And so we got to appreciate each and every athlete. And like I said, I'm proud of every athlete who came here to compete and represent the Bahamas.
Right. There's been a lot of back and forth going on back home, but athletes possibly knowing they're injured and still coming here and compete. And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my whole thing is this. Unless you are an athlete and understand what athletes go through in preparation for themselves, and understanding that these elite athletes, when they come to an event such as this, their endorsements, they are paid just to show. They are paid to get in the race and even qualify. They are paid even extra, even if they win a medal. So no athlete is going to come to this level and leave some financial gain behind for no ill reason or some other reason or the other. All of these athletes come here to perform and to represent themselves in this country. And if they could not do it, that means they could not do it. And so I say to the Bahamian people, we have to remember these people are human beings.
All right. Hey, we're going to go to the news and be back with more on this. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And at 8:18, it is time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's going on. We've got a lot happening. We've got a ridge of high pressure extending across the area. That's going to dominate weather across the country, as trailing moisture from Tropical Storm Debbie will continue to support pockets of showers and thunderstorms across the northwest Bahamas today. And it's going to be a hot day as well. The heat index is expected to be in the triple digits, and so everyone's being advised to limit outdoor activities and remain hydrated and use sunscreen. And in the northwest Bahamas, everybody should be alert, as there's a potential for strong thunderstorms, again from the outer bands of Tropical Storm Debbie. Beachgoers should also not get into Atlantic waters across the extreme northwest Bahamas due to the presence of rip currents and dangerous surf. And there's potential for localized flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas in the northwest Bahamas during prolonged rainfall events. So for today, for the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny, warm and breezy with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in occasional bands. Expect some locally heavy showers and a few strong thunderstorms at times. Small craft should exercise caution. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly mostly sunny, warm and breezy with a chance of a few isolated showers. Small craft caution in effect. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But the heat index will make you feel like it's 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Currently in Nassau, it is about 84 degrees, 85 in Freeport. In your extended outlook, over the next few days, lingering moisture from Tropical Storm Debbie will continue to support a few showers and thunderstorms across the northwestern islands, while high pressure will dominate across the rest of the country. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, partly sunny and warm with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, particularly across the northwestern islands, mostly fair and warm at night. Thursday, partly sunny and warm with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, particularly across the northwest Bahamas, mostly fair and warm at night. In the tropics, Tropical Storm Debbie, as of 5 o'clock this morning, was about 50 miles southwest of Savannah, Georgia, moving northeast at 7 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. So, for all traveling or all of our friends there, they've got to keep an eye on this storm, which is causing quite a bit of flooding across the southern United States. Elsewhere, showers and thunderstorms associated with a tropical wave near the eastern Caribbean Sea remain disorganized, and any development of that system will be slow to occur during the next couple of hours. Environmental conditions are expected to become more conducive for development later in the week as the system moves westwards, but formation chance is still pretty low at about 30%. And the rest of the tropics remain quiet, and tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 7 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And time for another check of your traffic, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In your real-time traffic, again, not looking so bad out there on the streets of New Providence today. It is the day after a holiday, and so perhaps quite a few people are not making their way to work today. But we've got just a few spots to tell you about. Carmichael Road looking a bit busy as you get closer to Blue Hill Road if you're heading eastbound. And Blue Hill Road seeing a bit of congestion near Independence Drive as you get over that hill to the roundabout there. Elsewhere along Robinson Road are the major intersections, so Robinson and Marathon and East-West Highway, Robinson and Old Trail looking busy there. Robinson, Prince Charles Drive, and Soldier Road, that intersection also seeing some slow-moving traffic. And Prince Charles Drive and Beatrice Avenue, that traffic signal might be malfunctioning there. That's causing some delays in the area. Beatrice Avenue and Charles Saunders Highway, that intersection looking pretty busy for you, especially westbound if you're heading toward the intersection out of Seabreeze. So keep that in mind. That's what we're seeing right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
We go everywhere. Shop early at Janae's Chesapeake Road Annual Back to School Sale going on now. Get up to 20% off on all school items in stock. Yes, all school items in stock. Shirts, jumpers, skirts, boys' long and short pants, school nets, a variety of colors and school monograms. Shop early and don't miss out at Janae's Uniform Center Chesapeake Road's Annual Back to School Sale going on now. Remember, we go everywhere. Beat the rush and save, save, save at Janae's Annual Sale now. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Attention, all fall 2024 applicants to University of the Bahamas. The new academic year is fast approaching and we're thrilled to welcome you to UB. But first, we need your help. If you've started your online application, now is the time to submit all outstanding supporting documents. Make sure to send in your transcripts and copies of relevant passport pages urgently. To secure your acceptance to UB, your application must be fully processed. And remember to keep checking your emails for important updates and reminders. Orientation and advisement for new students kicks off on Wednesday, August 7th, and classes begin Monday, August 19th. This message is brought to you by the Office of Recruitment and Admissions at University of the Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Around this country, I see things getting bad. The way some people carry on makes me a little sad. But when I stop and think of all the things that we have done, it makes me hold my head up to the rising sun. We should give thanks to the Lord above. There's so many things that we should be proud of. All my Bahamians, if you hear what I say, lift up this country in every single way. All proud Bahamians, raise up your hand. Show me that you love our land. Raise up your flag, the apple black and gold. Show me that you feel it deep down in your soul and wave it, wave it, wave it. Wave your Bahamian flag now, wave it, wave it, wave it.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner filling in for DeQuesta Dean on this Tuesday morning. We are getting a reaction to Team Bahamas so far at the Olympics. Before the break, Sheldon Longley giving us another update in Paris, speaking with Sports Minister Mario Boleg. There's more to that interview. Take a listen. We're going to pick this up. Take a listen to this.
All of these athletes come here to perform and to represent themselves in this country. And if they could not do it, that means they could not do it. And so I say to the Bahamian people, we have to remember these people are human beings. You know, they are not machines. And they came in here and they did their best to represent us all. once you hear their name called and the Bahamas name is called, that is something that we cannot pay for. And we should appreciate these athletes and their efforts that it takes to come out here and just go on the stage, because many people back home cannot even step on the track and do what these athletes do.
True. All right, final question now. That's in communication between private friends, management friends, Stephen's management friend and the BOC in terms of his injury, if he sustained an injury. But we didn't know until 6 hours later. Is there anything that could be done about something like that?
Well, it's hard for me to say because, there's rules in the government and the BOC and the BOC and the federations and the federations and the athletes and their management team and their coaches. And so as the minister, there's restriction. I cannot get involved in it. And I know my place as the minister. And so definitely wherever there was a breakdown in communication, then I hope that it would be, I think the person's all in charge, whether it's the federation or the BOC and the athletes and their coaching staff. I think, sometimes things happen and the thought process doesn't kick in right away to say something. And, because sometimes things happen and you're devastated. Right. And you're not thinking in the right frame of mind. And when you do realize what happened, then you respond at a late stage. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the facts must be revealed. And once the facts are stated, we must accept the facts and move forward. Life goes on.
Good stuff. Bahamas as Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Boleg, coming to you live from the games of the 33rd Olympiad here in Paris.
Okay, Sheldon Longley there. Interesting comments from Minister Mario Boleg. Let's get your reaction to it all. Urging Bahamians not to be, to cast judgment and and the weird theories that we've already been hearing quite a bit this morning to just, throw those away. But let's get your reaction to it all. 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 44796. Boy, Laverne, this texter here says, governments can find money for what they want. The 100 New World Champion was sponsored by the Prime Minister himself. What? Where's this? Who? What? Where? What? That's how they value their athletes. Show your athletes real support, not pennies. We're talking about St. Lucia, I guess.
Yeah, they're talking about Julian.
Okay, Julian Alfred.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they have a small team. That's a different type of situation than what we've got here in a very small country. Right. But yeah, you were going to say something?
Yeah, if I could comment on what the minister said, because he made some really good points in there. But the last part, when he talked about the communication and there being a breakdown, and sometimes things happen right away, and so you're not thinking, clearly because they happen and whatever. And I'm paraphrasing here. I beg to differ with that, simply because that's why you have a management team. You have a management team and their responsibility is to manage you. And part of managing you is to think of those things that you as the person may overlook, right? And so I can understand the devastation. I can appreciate it because I'm not an athlete, that the devastation you may feel when something happens and, you're heartbroken about it. But that is when your management team kicks in. That is when your management team says, okay, we can't go through with this. We got to let so-and-so know. Mm-hmm. That's, I believe that's part of their responsibility. So even if the athlete isn't in that frame of mind, that presence of mind, your management team should be. To be able to say to, even if it's only one person, hey, this is what happened.
Yeah. All right.
Release the public press statement later.
Yeah.
But you should at least be able to say to one person.
And this goes back
Bahamas,
to the respect that Pauline Davis was talking about.
Right. To say, this is what happened. Hey, we just want to let you know this is what happened. We're going to release a press statement later, but we want you to know this is what happened. Because that's what I'm paying my team to do. Part of my team, my management team, is also protecting my image, my brand, thinking about those things so that I don't have to be concerned about them.
Yeah. Okay, we got a whole lot of text messages here, and you can continue to call in before we get to our next segment. This person says here, talking falls on deaf ears over here. Who listens? I was on that lotto ticket, I guess they're saying, for over 10 years, calling for something like a lottery. Yeah.
Right.
This person says here to clarify... what is happening here? To clarify, I'm not suggesting they didn't race because of the issue regarding who was named to the team. What I do wonder, though, is whether they don't care to communicate with the BOC as they ought to because of a lack of respect for the organization. Okay, interesting. But again, it's the B3As that it's their governing body, and if you don't want to talk to BOC, that's fine. But at least tell your people the B3As.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And it could have been like a quick thing. Hey, injured, won't be able to make it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk later.
Yeah. Well, I think they might want a little more than that. But sure.
I'm just saying, at the very least, the very minimum,
mm-hmm.
even if you said that, but to just not say anything. So even the B3As can't answer.
Yeah.
No one could answer.
Boy. All right. This person says that the BOC and the minister and the Ministry of Sport should hang their head in shame. Why are you saying that? And it's not over yet, as we heard. There's still a lot more to go. Our athletes still seeing action, especially tomorrow. Why do you say that already?
Hang their head in shame. I mean, and I could think of why maybe the BOC, but we're not going to relive that. But yeah, like why?
Well, I don't think it's over. I don't think that one is over. I think they're going to have to atone for that blunder.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anything is going to come of that beyond what it's already come of it.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
This person says here, Dwight, all the people who have the most to say negatively do not have children in sports. It is heartbreaking to hear the comments. This is from a parent who has a child in track and field. What are the comments that you're hearing? Which part? This person says here, this could be the first time since 1992 that we don't get a medal, but we still have hopes in Devon in the hurdles and in the javelin. Well, we'll see.
I'm hoping, Dwight, honestly, I'm hoping for all of the athletes who are still competing for Team Bahamas, because like I said earlier, this Olympics, we've seen new faces. We've seen athletes come to the forefront who we didn't even consider before, right? Or we kind of talked about, but the focus wasn't really on them. So I'm hopeful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This person says here, when you have athletes worrying about paying bills versus training or have to share training time working, what do we expect on the world stage? The government needs to take care of the athletes, and the government and us, the Bahamian people, can demand more from our athletes. Discipline and gold medals. Well, the government, sure. The government and corporate Bahamas, and all of us, absolutely.
Yeah,
and we can demand for something like a lottery where you raise money for support for athletes and for whatever you want it to be, the arts, culture. That's something we can all do to help the government because they don't have the money. I mean, people say, well, they have money for foolishness. They're going to be questioned. For everything they have now, it's going to be questioned, like, why are you doing this when we need this? We don't have water on this island. We don't have electricity. We don't have all these things.
What does that really matter? Because Dwight, it's happening anyway. Money is being spent on things that we determine maybe is not necessary, but it's being spent anyway.
Well, let there be no questions.
So let there be no questions. At least if it's going towards this,
yes,
we may say what and then go, oh, okay, yeah, I understand, right?
Well,
because make no mistake, money being spent that we don't necessarily think is wise.
That's fine.
In any event,
it doesn't have to be like this at all. Start a lottery. Plenty of people would be willing to contribute to this if they think that's going to go to a good cause, and plus they could possibly win some money themselves. Plenty of people would be able to do that, and it would take very little off the government. That would solve a lot of problems in many, many ways. And that is how it's done in many parts of. We know this. And there wouldn't be questions anymore. But
and who's going to control this lottery?
You can get to that when you get there. But
no, we got to get to that because we got to know that when this money is made, it's going to go to what it actually is earmarked
let's
for.
make the decision that we're going to do it.
But sometimes we have an issue with that.
Right. See, if you start talking like that now, then it'll never happen. But let's say we want it, and then we decide how we're going to do it. But that's the problem. We don't know whether we want it or not. But every year we complain like this. So something's got to give. We got to stop doing the same thing over and over and over. Let's take some more your text messages here. This person says, how is it that when an MP sues the government, the amount awarded is never revealed, but for everyone else it is? Well, now this is court. This is court as opposed to the government settling with somebody. So it's a little bit different, but I do understand your point. Something had to really be wrong with Stevie and Shawnee. They are warriors. For them not to run in these races, something's wrong.
Yeah, and we recognize that. It's just, again, was just the not knowing. That was the issue.
Yeah. This text here, I agree with the minister. They are humans. And you're up one day and then you're down the next, I guess it's saying. But you do not beat them when they're down.
No.
They didn't do what we expect them to do just because they didn't do what we expect them to do. Like the Lord, he carried us when we are at our lowest points. We need to do better, Bahamians. I am heartbroken because my child is in the sport, and I have to encourage her every day when she doesn't do her best not to give up. And have people tearing down our legends like this, I guess, not a good look. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Text you. I don't know why you keep sending these very silly text messages. You know this is not happening. It's already moved on. To talk about the mixed relays. Did you not see it? The Netherlands won, even though in the semis the U.S. broke the world record.
They can't get past it.
But we were in. The U.S. broke the world record, and the next day the Netherlands beat them.
The Netherlands, right? Netherlands won,
but with not a world record, which is just wild. This person says here the government needs to hire these athletes as coaches. They can get funds for their training and also groom the next generation. You mean while they are still young athletes? Okay.
No. Right now, their career, this is their career. They are athletes. They are professional athletes. So, I mean, and if they are looking to retire or, then sure, that's an avenue, but not while they're currently professional athletes, eh?
This text says you might as well send the Golden Girls. What now? What?
No.
That's really, wow. We don't need a lottery. The winner would just get robbed or possibly killed. It just wouldn't be safe.
Wow.
Well, okay. Well, people are winning lots of money through other games of chance around here, and they seem to be okay. Could you imagine people who win $10 million? Do you trust that? Yeah, because they can afford great security. I think they'll be fine. Yeah, you don't worry about them. This person says here, I should be in charge of the lottery, and the proceeds I will share with I don't know what's happening this morning. Everybody's still in holiday mode. Let's take a break here. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more said about this, but don't give up hope yet, folks. Tomorrow, we're looking forward to what comes tomorrow for Team Bahamas. And we wish Shawnee and Stevie all the best. Definitely.
Yes, absolutely. Full recovery.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break and be back with more Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio in just a bit.
We go everywhere. Shop early at Janae's Chesapeake Road annual back-to-school sale going on now. Get up to 20% off on all school items in stock. Yes, all school items in stock. Shirts, jumpers, skirts, boys' long and short pants, school neckties, PE shorts, and a variety of colors and school monograms. Shop early and don't miss out at Janae's Uniform Center Chesapeake Road's annual back-to-school sale going on now. Remember, we go everywhere. Beat the rush and save, save, save at Janae's annual sale now. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic is where trusted and best care meets consistency and dedication. Let our expert specialists take you on a healthcare journey where warmth, compassion, and your well-being come first. From diagnosis to prescription, we are with you every step of the way, ensuring your peace of mind. Visit us today at Centerville Medical Center, Collins Avenue and 6th Terrace, and discover quality, compassionate healthcare at Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic.
The Guardian Media Group has your ticket to Paris.
On your marks, get set, go!
Join the Guardian Media Group, Star 106 Hits, Guardian Radio 96.9, and Hot 91 FM. And follow Team Bahamas from paradise to Paris. Live comprehensive updates on Team Bahamas every day during the 2024 Summer Olympics. We are your ticket to Paris. Nassau Guardian Sports Editor Sheldon Longley will be trackside, bringing you closest to our athletes in their quest for gold. From paradise to Paris. The 2024 Summer Olympics. Live updates. Brought to you by gold sponsors, the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, Jimmy Wines and Spirits, distributors of refreshing Sands beer, silver sponsor Executive Motors, and the bronze sponsors Hertz Rent-A-Car, Nagico Insurance, Bay Street Garage, Nassau Motors, your Chevy and Honda dealers, and New Life Natural. Let the games begin.
Stephen Gardner alongside 100-meter hurdler Devon Charlton.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Attention, all fall 2024 applicants to University of the Bahamas. The new academic year is fast approaching and we're thrilled to welcome you to UB. But first, we need your help. If you've started your online application, now is the time to submit all outstanding supporting documents. Make sure to send in your transcripts and copies of relevant passport pages urgently. To secure your acceptance to UB, your application must be fully processed. And remember to keep checking your emails for important updates and reminders. Orientation and advisement for new students kicks off on Wednesday, August 7th, and classes begin Monday, August 19th. This message is brought to you by the Office of Recruitment and Admissions at University of the Bahamas.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326-EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Yeah. Sing, profiling in the party. No mind fancy clothes, only God knows. I broke, busted, I got no money. We gotta start, y'all.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Tuesday morning, and changing gears now to talk about Talent Explosion 2024. St. Matthew's Anglican Church, a social outreach ministry, putting on this event in just a few days. Here to tell us all about this, we're very pleased to welcome Sylvia Forbes. We have with us Claudette Cookie Allens. Welcome back. And this is first for me. I have had a brother on, I've had cousins on, but I've never had an aunt on the show with me. You got Mary Micklewhite. Welcome. Aunt Mary, great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
Good morning, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, so we want to talk about the Talent Explosion, but tell us about the social outreach ministry and then how this event is going to help the social outreach ministry. Sylvia, you want to tell us about that?
Well, first of all, the social outreach ministry came about in 1975, and actually we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary next year.
Wow.
And the purpose for the social outreach ministry was to help the needy and to take care of in our parish and also in the surrounding community.
Mm-hmm. How much need is there?
Oh.
Oh boy.
There's always a great need, but we try to do our best, and we get a lot of help from members of the parish and also from other donors.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always more needed.
Yeah. Historically, let's talk about some of the things you've done. What can you tell us?
Well, starting in 1982, we started a soup kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And the soup kitchen operates on Tuesdays and Fridays. And each of those days, we provide a hot lunch for about between 80 and 100 persons.
Wow.
So of course it ends up being a little costly. So that is part of the reason for our fundraising efforts. And the Talent Explosion is one of them.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
But throughout the years, we've
Get a little
had,
closer to that mic, quick.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the years, we've had other fundraising events, like what was the big one that we always had?
The silent auction.
Silent auction, which was a major fundraiser. We need to look at that again, eh, Mary?
Right.
I'm not looking at Sylvia when I say this, right? So we do small fundraising events like this one, which will generate some funds. But we need a major one. And we appeal to the public, too. If you're out there and you want to give, the social outreach ministry at St. Matthew's is a big giver. So you can give to us, and we can give and support all the people in that surrounding area.
So it's not just St. Matthew's folks who are giving. You get help from the wider community.
Absolutely.
I think the other churches in that community, in that area, so, we have Sacred Heart, and we have Ebenezer, and the Church of God, and Salvation Army. I think they all have soup kitchen type situations because there's a big need in that general area.
Is the need growing? Because it seems like you see the lines. It looks like there are more people out waiting, trying to get food from the various organizations. It is getting worse.
It is getting longer, the line.
What do you think is happening?
I don't know. But just to clarify that a bit, some persons, they have issues like for a period.
Mm-hmm.
They might have lost their job, or someone in the family might have lost their job. So they need help for a specific time period. And then some of them, like when they catch themselves, find another job, then they're okay.
Yeah.
But then some again are in it for the long haul. Yeah. So it ebbs and flows.
It's rough. Wow. All right. So this is the first time you're doing anything like this, a Talent Explosion?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. How did the idea come about?
That's Mary.
Aunt Mary, let's talk about this.
Well, I am from a talented family, I would say.
Yeah.
And you always have shows, right? So this just came up as something quick and easy because we don't have our main fundraiser until October. So in the meantime, to stop the gap, we decided to have this. And Cookie could tell you more about it.
Cookie.
She's the one who went out and got all the talent, you know.
Right.
She's
That's how
putting it
she
on.
is.
Yeah, that's how she is.
Yeah.
Mother Mary.
Yeah.
But a lot of the talent is drawn from St. Matthews. A lot from St. Matthews and our extended families.
Right.
Yeah, from the choirs and their families. And so we went out into the community, she did, and got a lot of people to come in. And of course, we all spoke to our friends and stuff. So we're looking forward to a very exciting evening, afternoon evening, you know. And in addition to the talent, there's also going to be food on sale.
Wow.
So we're going to have that extra injection of funds coming in. So we're looking forward to a fabulous evening. Explosive, talented, and eye-opening talent.
All right, so I see it says featuring artists such as Cookie Allen. So you are.
I don't know who that is. I wish I knew who that was.
People hear you on the radio when they hear me, so they know who you are. But so what are you going to be doing?
I'm doing storytelling.
Okay.
And I'm taking it. As you know, when I travel, I pick up stories from all around. But I'm not getting one. Huh? Let's get that. Yeah. Okay. I pick up stories from around the world wherever I travel. So I'm going to do a little juggling from here to there. Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah. And of course, our own Bahamian stories.
And we've got some other names as well. Tell us about them. Mary, you going to tell us?
Well, the Candace Boswick.
Oh, forgot her.
Yes.
Can't forget her. Yeah.
That voice.
Yeah,
voice.
Yeah, she's going to be giving us some music as well. And we're looking forward to that as well. Yeah.
And I have an adopted grandson who's going to give it a trumpet selection.
Okay. Right.
Taden Ferguson. And we have our very own Kervinique Ferguson doing a solo. And of course, there is Tessa Adderley from Holy Trinity. I think she's
Holy
here.
Trinity, yeah.
And Keith Major is going to do a piano selection.
Wow.
And our own Cher Strawn from St. Matthews.
Another aunt. The Straughns are running St. Matthews.
And Nathaniel Bosfield is a cousin of mine. He's doing a solo. He's from St. Matthews as well.
Okay. Right.
And my other adopted granddaughter, Bria Ferguson, she's going to be doing a dance. And
we also have Cale Seymour. He's doing Rake and Scrape.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's coming. That's going to be the last item. Yeah. That's Cat Island Rake and Scrape.
Okay.
The rail from St. Matthews as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we'll have Casmin McKenzie from St. Matthews. She's dancing. And Colin Major is doing solo. And we have a fashion show with your Uncle Keith Strawn.
Okay. Wow. So it's like a St. Matthews talent showcase.
Yes.
Laverne?
I have a question.
Laverne?
Sure. I know that, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I know that you mentioned that a number of other churches or organizations in the area, they also have their programs. Do all of you ever come together and work together, maybe pool your resources? Is that ever something that happens? That's the first question. And then the second question is, I am listening to all the list of talents, and I'm waiting for Aunt Mary to say, and we'll also have Dwight. So, Aunt Mary, what's Dwight's talent other than this?
I haven't found that out yet.
And they keep him to St. Matthews. Keep him to Matthews, but not that close.
What happens and what has happened in the past concerning the churches is that they each do their events, their soup kitchens on different days. Right. So I guess the aim being that any day of the week, Monday through Friday, persons who are in need, they can get a meal.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
That's how it works.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be Saturday, August 10th. Give us the time.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Oh, I forgot to tell you who the MC was.
Okay.
Hope.
Oh, okay.
My partner in crime.
Oh, okay. So this is going to be. You're going to have to, if you're a fan of the Superwash commercials, you're going to have a great time All right. So how do you get tickets, and where's it going to be?
The tickets right here. And it's going to be at St. Matthew's Hall.
All right.
At the parish hall. But tickets can be purchased at the door.
Okay. All right. But we can find you if we want to get tickets beforehand.
They can find me at the daycare center, or they can get tickets from the office, the church office.
All right. Excellent. And again, that's Saturday at 6 p.m. How long do you think the show's going to run for? There's a lot of talent. This is going to be all night?
I don't think it'll be longer than 2 hours.
Yeah, okay. All right. And tickets are how much?
$20.
Only $20.
Yeah.
Only.
That's
Only
a good deal there. And it's also going to aid the center for the daycare center for the
senior daycare center.
And how does that work exactly? How many people are you taking care of? And tell us more about
There's
that.
news about that, eh?
Well, we're just we had to close down. We had to close down due to COVID, and we're just getting things together now to reopen. Actually, we're looking at reopening next week.
Okay.
So we have information out there, and what we're doing now is working on building up our clientele again.
Yeah.
So.
How many? How does that work exactly? What age are you talking about, and any particular conditions, or how does it function?
Well, I wouldn't say a particular age. I guess that's determined by their family members, whether they feel that they need our services. And it's daycare. So, if a family member have an elderly mother who's home by themselves, they would use our facilities. They would drop them off in the morning and then pick them up on their way from work. And then that way, they're around people around their same age group. We provide activities for them to do during the day. We plan outings for them. And, they have a great time.
Yeah, that sounds very good.
We ensure that they take their meds on time too, right? If they're on meds or anything, no.
Well, for the most part, they would take their meds in the morning before they get there with their breakfast. And then we, of course, would provide a hot lunch for them as well as snacks during the day, throughout the day.
There's a cost to this?
Only $40 per day.
Okay. Wow.
And they get there around 8 in the morning, and they're there until between 5 and 5:30.
And how many can you accommodate?
We can about approximately 15 persons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And the good thing too is, you can. Some families have their relatives there for a couple of days. Some of them have them there for a week. So it's quite flexible.
Yeah. Wonderful stuff. So one more time about the talent explosion. Tell us about that, where, when, where to get the tickets, how much, all those details really quickly.
Tickets available from St. Matthew's Church office. You can call us anytime or at the door. Only $20. If you want to leave another donation to help us along, because you've heard our plight, you know what we're about, and we want to expand, so you can leave you can leave an extra little donation if you wish.
Yeah.
But it's 6 o'clock on Saturday coming. 2 hours of fun and talent explosion. You'll be exploding as well. You're going to need that break at intermission to get a drink or a soft drink or a piece of cake or some of the sweets that the other talented people from St. Matthew's would have baked and put out there on sale.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Don't miss it.
And if you're unable to make it, you can still drop off a donation throughout the week.
Just call me. I'll come and collect.
There you go.
All right. Sylvia Forbes, Claudette, Cookie Allen, and my aunt, Mary Micklewhite. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
All right, we're going to take a break for news and be back with more Morning Blend Business coming up. Stay with us.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity. we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, August 6th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Tuesday morning. And this morning, on the heels of Emancipation Day yesterday, we are talking about reparations. And very pleased to have back with us from the Bahamas Reparations Committee, Chair Dr. Nyambi Hall Campbell-Dean. Good morning again. Welcome back.
Good morning,
Let's get that mic.
Good
there
morning,
we go.
Laverne.
All right.
It's great to be back.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And you know, this is and always an interesting discussion for folks.
Indeed.
But okay, so you had a relaunch last week,
Yes.
and that's the first question. Relaunch? Why a relaunch? Because we just spoke to you, it feels like just a few months ago on
Yeah.
the issue, but explain that to us.
So basically, the relaunch was about having the full membership of the committee verified by cabinet. You know, we are a government committee, and so we have all of our members now. Their names were submitted, and we are. We have a full stack of persons that are, you know, committed to the cause, some that have been on the committee actually since we were founded in 2013, and some new faces, so invigorating some new blood, some young persons who are even still at the University of the Bahamas. So we're really excited about being able to, you know, relaunch and continue the work that we have been doing.
Right. So how many members are we talking about here?
Oh gosh, I would say we have about 15 to 20 members. We have an advisory group as well of members of Bahamians who are home and abroad, who have expertise in areas of history or law that can advise us in certain areas as well. So we have an education committee, we have a public relations committee, or subcommittee, and we have a research subcommittee.
Right.
So we're going to be firing on all of those cylinders.
I think a lot of people will be surprised to hear that you are a government committee. Explain that whole process to us and the role the government plays in this.
So the Bahamas National Reparations Committee is actually a member committee of the larger CARICOM Reparations Commission. So CARICOM as a body has formed or advocated a group to agitate for reparations against former colonial governments. And so being a member of CARICOM, the Bahamas has their own reparations committee that is under that larger body.
Wow. Okay. So let's get into it. Why the talk of reparations? I think you mentioned at the press conference, you know, this anniversary this year is a significant one, 190 years, almost 200 years.
Yes.
Why are we still talking about this? Some would say, I'm sure. And why would you say this is important or more important now than ever before?
So at the end of the day, reparations is essentially about justice, right? There are actually some really good articles in The Guardian by one of your journalists, Liam Miller, who wrote up some really good pieces about reparations and the different forms and ways that they occur. But this reparations movement is more important than ever because we see it growing from a regional movement to really a global movement. In the last year, CARICOM and the African Union have made some significant collaborations. And the African Union is now also building their reparations movement and really looking to CARICOM to help them formulate what that looks like and how that's going to go forward. The African Union has also decided that the year 2025 is designated as the year of reparations. So this reparations movement is something that, although sometimes when we talk about it here, it can feel like, oh, this is something y'all just made up, yesterday. Like, y'all just got mad and decided we got asked for some money. But the history of reparations is a really long one. And it's one that extends outside of conversations around slavery and colonialism, right? It is a legal tool that has been used by the International Court of Justice for things from reparations from the Native Americans in the United States to, the Jewish from World War II and their Holocaust. So we're now just bringing this reparations movement, I wouldn't even say just now, because conversations about reparations have been happening since Rastafari began, right? Talking about reparations as well as repatriation. So we're just now trying to ramp up the conversation and show, this area of justice is needed now more than ever.
And before we get to some definitions on what reparations, what it means and what it should look like, to those who might be thinking, we just mentioned the anniversary, 190 years since the abolishment of slavery, in this part of the world. It's been a lot of time. Just, mistakes were made. Just let it go. We've got freedom now, in quotation marks. Why not just move on and acknowledge the mistakes of the past, but just move on to ensure that it doesn't happen again in the future? Why not just that?
Well, not just that, because that wouldn't be justice, right? A crime was committed. And when we say a crime, we're talking about the United Nations has designated slavery and the native genocide of this people as crimes against humanity, right? And so when a crime is committed, you have to make restitution for that crime. And that has never been done. And not only has that never been done, but the spoils of the crime, per se, are still being in effect, right? The land that was stolen, the people that was stolen. People are still profiting from the things that happened, which seemingly all those many years ago, right? I think sometimes maybe in the Bahamas, it may be harder for us to make direct connections to it. But when you go to places like Barbados and you see the plantation after plantation after plantation after plantation that were established over 190 years ago, and people still living in these places, right? It's not like they left. Like, these places are still, it's people, and the monies that they made, like the members of parliament in the UK, right? Drax Hall being one of them, they were able to get wealthy and achieve aristocracy that they could enter into the members of parliament. They could become prime ministers because of that history. Right? So if you're still profiting from the history, we should still be able to get justice from it.
Yeah. Well, and the definition of reparations. I mean, we've talked about this before. It's hard to even get but when it comes to monetary reparations, it just seems almost impossible. But let's define reparations before we get into that.
So, well, reparations really has a number of different perspectives. There's the legal reparations, right? There's cultural reparations. And I, being, geared towards the cultural reparations, and speak more about that, especially because I'm not a lawyer and I can't, I would get tripped up on the legal aspects of it. But at the end of the day, it's reparations is restitution, right? So if a crime was committed, when people commit crimes in modern day, and they might not be found. The case that comes to mind for me is the OJ case, right? He wasn't found guilty, but the family still was able to sue him for wrongful death. So we know that these colonial governments are guilty, right? We know that they committed the crimes, but also now it was a wrongful crime. And so reparations is saying you have to repair the damage that had been done. And also that repair should come to the point where what would these communities look like had the crime never, right? So where would we be if that crime had never been committed? And then you have to try to repair that community to that place. That's what reparations is. And that's not my personal opinion, right? Like that's how the International Court of Justice is perceiving what reparations is.
And does the Bahamas National Reparations Committee have an idea as to what type and what form reparations should take for this country?
Absolutely. So the Bahamas National Reparations Committee, again, we are under the CARICOM Reparations Commission. And within CARICOM, we have a 10-point plan for reparations, right? And this 10-point plan includes things like a full and formal public apology, and the plan is being revised. So if you were to go online and look at the plan now, just note that is the plan, that the original plan from 2014. And so we had meetings earlier this year actually to revise it. And some of the revisions will include more emphasis on things like repatriation, psychological rehabilitation.
Repatriations from this part of the world back to Africa?
Yes, right? Because that would be one of the things that would have happened if the crime had never been committed, right? You know.
But it can't be as simple as buying a plane ticket for somebody. You were looking for what? Resettlement and
resettlement, and this is one of the reasons why it's so important that we have now strong communications with the African Union, right? To say, okay, here's spaces, here's lands. What are those connections going to look like? And Ghana is a really good example of a country that has made space for persons within the diaspora to come back and make homes there. And so, we have a 10-point plan as to what reparations would look like. And we're just trying to move forward with it.
We got calls coming in. Laverne, I know you must have questions as well.
I just wanted to say, one, congratulations on the relaunch. And two, is there any part of the plan that you're focusing on right now? I know everything is important, but is there anything that you're really putting all of your energies into right now?
Well, we are, at our first relaunch meeting, we are in the process of really hashing out our full agenda for the next 12 months. But two things that I could say for sure that we know we are going to be focusing on is in the past 10 years, we've done a lot around external reparations. And so now we kind of want to bring the conversation a little bit more locally and talk about issues like Crown land. Right? How can we find ways to distribute that, or just really have clear conversations on what Crown land is, how people can gain access to it. Another conversation.
But can that be, the government of the country of the day can just decide that you don't need the colonial power to be involved in that, do you?
But no, we don't. And so that's what we're saying. We want to have conversations about internal reparations as well, right? Things that we can begin to do on our own as we continue to agitate for reparations from these colonial governments.
Right.
We also are very excited about the apology that the Anglican Church has given. They have promised, I think it was £100 million in reparatory justice to the Caribbean and the entire continent of Africa. So, I mean, that's a lot of people, right? For $100 million.
$1 each for everybody, perhaps? I don't know what that means.
That's going to work. But we're excited about, the conversation being had, the recognition that the church played a large role in the transatlantic slavery system. And so we want to see what that looks like in the Bahamas.
Yeah. You mentioned apology. We haven't had that much from any of the powers or any of the former kingdoms or the existing kingdoms. Let's talk about that and why you think that's been an issue at this point still.
Well, we actually have had a full, formal apology from the King of the Netherlands. So the Dutch are trying to deal with the ramifications or what that apology really meant. I know that they had a meeting about that yesterday and are working towards that. And while King Charles has not apologized, and the prime ministers have made a point of England have made a point of not apologizing, King Charles did say that the time has come to have these conversations. So I think that we are at the point where the recognition that a crime has been committed is there, and it's a matter of whether or not people are ready to take accountability. Right?
But what difference would that make? That song, It's Too Late to Apologize,
Right.
is that very fitting here?
And so this is the part where the legal team would come in and say, here's why you need an apology, right? Because the apology is really a part and parcel of the legal part of reparations. If you fully apologize for something, then from my understanding, you're taking accountability and ownership that you were the one that caused it, right? So if you cause it, now what you going to do to make it better, right? So the apology...
It's like the apology then is the first step into moving forward with the entire reparation.
With the legal aspect of it. Yes, with the legal aspect, yes.
Okay, wow. We've got a lot of questions for Dr. Naomi Hall Campbell-Dean. We'll get to those in a bit, but you do as well. We see that. The phone lines are lit up. Let's get the calls in, and you can call in as well. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
A very pleasant good morning to you, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, and to Laverne and to Dr. Campbell, it is.
Good morning.
Very pleasant good morning to you. Dwight, the Oxford definition of reparations says the action of making amends for a wrong one is done by providing payment or other assistance, right? This is all very confusing because here's why. We can't serve as witness or prosecution and then defense. Do you understand? Are you still there?
We're listening. We're trying to get what you're saying.
My point is this. Going to our former colonizers, who are the British, right? And we're asking them to right a wrong that came about from the enslavement of our people. But we choose to recognize the monarchy as our head of state. How that doesn't really make sense. And this is a governmental committee where the ascension or the assentment of the monarchy through the Governor General makes our bills and laws as a sovereign nation valid and legal. It doesn't sound like we're chasing our tails there, where we want compensation, I guess what the bottom line is, based on what from our former colonizers, but we choose to involve them in our sovereign activities.
So let me get this straight. So you think that our case is diminished compared to maybe a country like
8 million%, because it's almost like, and I don't
like
want
Trinidad or Barbados or something.
to make light of an abuser, for example.
Yeah.
It's like going to the court, you call the police because somebody abused you, right? And then you bail the person out, and you stand as a witness, even if the state decides to prosecute the person based on evidence. How does that even make sense? And it just adds to that adage that people say that the Bahamas is really not a real place.
Interesting way to look at it.
I mean, just from a very practical standpoint, it sounds like we're chasing our tails. We want you to pay us for abusing us, but we choose to involve you in the daily. I mean, you think about it, Dwight. We swear allegiance to the crown, to the king. It doesn't make sense. Help me. Maybe the doctor can help. I'll make it make sense for me. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, it's interesting theory there.
No, I mean, I think that's a very valid point, very valid argument. I would just say that I think that we could do two things at the same time, right? We can have conversations about whether we need to become a republic and leave the Commonwealth, as well as agitate for and advocate for the justice around reparations, and do those things at the same time. Jamaica,
or have a discussion about becoming a republic, but not leaving the Commonwealth. We could do that as well.
All of the above, right? And to say that, that would be a conversation that Jamaica would have, right? That would be a conversation that all of the other member countries of the CRC would have, excluding Barbados and Trinidad, right? And to note that Barbados became a republic after the reparations committee was formed, right? So that's an example of a country that is advocating for reparations, actually leading the call for reparations, as our prime minister is the head of the prime ministerial board for Secretariat for Reparations,
right.
And going for their republic status at the same time, right? So these are conversations that we definitely can have as well.
Yeah. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning. How you doing, Dwight?
Doing well.
Okay. How you doing, Doc?
Good morning.
Glad to hear you again. To say that I am an advocate for your position, especially with the committee's position, and I think it's very necessary. But one of the 10 points, what I think is most important that we need to look at, and that is the psyche and the trauma that was left behind. And I think even to this point right now, it still is in play in not just the over-the-hill communities, but I talking about our elite. I'll give you an example. Like you could speak a lot of these things to quote-unquote learned, educated people, and it'll almost be like you talking. I liken it to like a glass, soundproof glass, because, for example, like repatriating back to Africa, that may sound far-fetched to a lot of people, but it's like everything, all the resources comes from Africa. Like Uganda, for example, just uncovered like trillions of dollars in gold. So when I like to look, what I am doing now is focusing in on this psychology and the psyche. And I think one of the main things, the first set of money we get, what we have to do is focus on reprogramming the subconscious of these people. Because these people have their only reference is the colonial viewpoint. And I give you a next example. England provides nothing in a state of crisis. They haven't elected a prime minister in so long. They have no resources. They was going to flood and go under if it wasn't for all the Russian money laundering. And the English king, these people, their country have very little to nothing to offer, but they stand as reference point in a lot of these people's minds who are quote unquote intelligent behemoths. So when you look at that psyche and this cancer on these people's brain and their inability to actually think outside of that soundproof glass, that right there is like what Mama Winnie said, is the reason why the first fight is be against those type of people who have been fully institutionalized. So I think really focusing like on appropriate adaptation. Dr. Joy DeGory really speaking about it to really get to the crux of these people's subconscious and how they perceive reality.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And I'm not sure about some of the claims you made about them, but sure, we get it, and we see that with the national honors versus the king's honors. We can't deny that some people are really much more appreciative, it seems, of the king's honors and former queen's honors than our own, which is really awful. But we've got a lot of work to do there.
Right? Sorry, Dwight. That's what we've set the standard at.
Right.
Unfortunately.
But their standard is the golden standard, right? And we see it in everyday, our transactions, even the way that we speak, right? speak, we tell people to speak the Queen's English because that's the standard. And if you don't speak that, then you're not speaking properly.
Right.
So how does that work?
It's permeated in every, and so I think a part of it needs to be this massive education campaign where we understand, because a lot of the things that we, like the caller said, a lot of the way that we view things, the way that we think of things is because of this colonial influence. And so it's caused us not to gain an appreciation for, say, the honors, because it doesn't say the king's honor.
Yeah. So what forms would that take? The psychological rehabilitation, that is one of the 10 parts of the plan here that the caller mentioned.
Yeah.
How would that work?
So it would really be about funding programs that are in place, or creating programs that would be in place. I mean, some of these things, right, are things that I can speak for myself. Like I've been doing in my classroom, right? I've been talking about what is our language. Our language is not broken. Our language is our own language. It's not a bad English. It is what Bahamians speak, right? Talking about the psychological impacts of slavery, the post-traumatic slave syndrome that he referenced with Dr. Joy DeGray-Leary. So there are things that reparations, or a call for reparations, can bring awareness about, to do things that you've already been doing, right? It's not like we have to wait for the apology to start healing ourselves psychologically, right? But we can use the conversation and the awareness around reparations to make the connection between, well, why is it that we value the king honors more than we value the national honors, right? And we can say, well, look at this history, and how has this history impacted the way that we think about ourselves today, and how can we change it?
Yeah. Callers, we'll get to you in a second, but some of the ones that are more practical, because people do still think that you're calling for everyone to get a check or something.
Okay.
But that's not the case. Right?
No, it's not.
No. But when we look at debt cancellation and helping with our decaying public institutions, hospitals and some of the schools, universities, let's talk more about that and why that would be so just changing the entire playing field for this country if there were assistance in this regard.
I mean, debt cancellation is a really big one, right? When we look at Dorian alone was $4 billion dollars in damage. And when we understand that the climate crisis that we are experiencing is a direct result of the capitalism that was built from slavery, right? The factories and the model of economics that produce this capitalism where we're seeing all of these problems in our climate today is a direct result of the funds and the monies and the wealth that was built off the backs of enslaved people. And so we built the system that is now coming in to destroy our communities in this climate change. And it's not only destroying our communities, but now we have to spend our own monies to build our communities back, right? And put us in debt into these systems that we didn't create, these economic systems that we didn't create in the first place. So it's like now you're in debt because of a problem that didn't necessarily originally start with us. And again, this is not to say that we do not take accountability for the things that we need to as a country, right? But it's just taking perspective as to where things started and began. So debt cancellation is a really big one. When we look at countries like Haiti, for example, and all of the problems that Haiti is experiencing, a lot of us may not realize that Haiti had to pay reparations to France because they decided that they wanted to be free. And France was like, okay, well, you beat us, but if you want to stay safe, and they literally had the ships in the harbor, right, with the guns facing them. I was like, if you don't pay up, then we're going to destroy you. And Haiti was not able to pay off that debt until well into the 2000s, right? And so when we say like, oh, that was hundreds of years ago, this is history that has real current consequences on the ways that we interact and are being impacted as a people.
And these countries still take any opportunity to blacklist if you don't do what they want you to do.
Absolutely.
Even after your freedom has been attained.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This texter says, the king is not responsible, you mentioned this, for our social decadence. It's time to grow up and stop transferring blame for your bad decisions. Republics have high crimes as well. And what's wrong with the Queen's English if communication is effective? Can't stand wokeism, is the text.
I don't think anybody said that there was anything wrong with the Queen's English. We're just saying, anyway.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the Queen's English.
Right.
I speak it when forced to.
It's a time and a place. But they're saying, hey, you can't blame Charles for this. Move on, grow up, and get over it.
And so again, right? I think I just mentioned that this is not about blame. This is about history having consequences, and about about justice. You know, if somebody hit your car and you weren't able to get to work, your whole family was destroyed because, you know, this person destroyed your car, and somebody went up to you and was like, hey, get over it. You'd be like, well, I am getting over it, but I still need the monies from the damage that was done to help me get over it. Yeah. Right? And I think that when we talk about reparations, it makes it seem like, you know, people in our communities aren't still, like, we haven't thrived since, that we just stopped and didn't do anything. But that's not the case. We see that we've continued to grow, to thrive, to love, to form families, even though there was no intention for that to happen. Right. So... Yeah.
Excellent point. Let's take these calls. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Ms. Hall, Campbell, and good morning, Ms. Gardner. You know, Ms. Hall, I call you every time we come on the radio. I said, sweetie, don't waste your time. Don't hold your breath waiting on reparation, because you're going to turn blue. Listen, tell me something. What powers does this International Court of Justice have?
Well,
do they have power to enforce any judgment that they make?
I mean, at the end of the day, the government still have to make the decisions to follow the enforcement, right, that the ICJ has given. Yeah, and there are examples of countries that have not followed, you know, what the ICJ has given. But there's also examples of reparations actually happening, right? So it's not... When we say, you know, don't hold your breath, it's never going to happen. Like, reparations have happened, and there are examples of it happening now.
Okay, and so Ms. Hall, like I said,
Dr. Amby Hall Campbell.
Dr. Hall, you know, I believe that I believe that all of them are farce. The United Nations, which started as the League of Nations after World War II, later became the UN, whose purposes was to stop these wars. They can't. Russia fighting Ukraine, Israel fighting Singapore. The other day, South Africa brought a case against to the IC, whatever it is, against Israel. Nothing happened. I say to you, Ms. Hall, continue your fight, but fight for us here, man. We can empower ourselves. When you meet with the Prime Minister and ask them for reparation, ask them to give the Bahamian people the land, the crown land, that is our land. We, the inheritors of these islands, rocks, and keys, we want our inheritance. Why can't we get our inheritance, Ms. Dr. Hall?
Well, you are in the spirit. I don't know if you heard us earlier, but we said that is one of the things that is on our agenda for the year, to have conversations about crown land, because internal reparations is a part of it as well.
I will be more in the spirit when I hear you talking about that, man. And see, for the last 50-something years, the so-called black people have been in power. But yet we still haven't gotten the economic power that many of the black people are looking for. And so we only change, so-called, the color of the government. but the system still remains. We need to dismantle this form of government and system and put in a system of government that will work for the people, that we can benefit from the largest of this country instead of just a selective few. Now, when you start that kind of fight, Ms. Hall, I am all on board for you. Thank you. God bless you, and have a good day.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi. Are you there? No. Let's take the other one there. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning, Ms. Gardner. Good morning to your guest.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I didn't guess. They just kind of called in, but I caught it came in when I think that was Hansel. I think the gentleman's name was Hansel when he was talking about the psyche of the people. And I totally agree with that. I mean, like that should be our main focus. And I won't discourage you, Doctor, from seeking what you feel is justice, right? But because, I mean, you got that place, Israel, over there, and they still getting reparations in some form or fashion. They still getting well taken care of, and their situation ain't nothing like ours. But I feel though, Doctor, that what we should do is we need to kill the whole mindset of colonialism and all institutions that influence it and that came from it. We need to fight against those institutions. The individuals who hold leadership in those places, they are not on your run. You know what I mean? Like, they are about upholding traditions that make them somebody. You understand? Like, if I'm a pastor of a church, you know what I mean, that I give meaning to my life. You know what I mean? I don't want to get rid of that. I don't want to become, you know what I mean? But the church is a symbol of colonialism. The school system that we have is a form of the colonialism. So we need to get rid of those things, and we need to put in place everything that encourages us and reminds us of who we are. You know what I mean? We necessarily don't need that reparation. We don't necessarily need that. What we need to do is we need to disconnect ourselves from individuals who have been exploiting us for years, and let's do our own thing. You know what I mean? Because, see, to be honest with you, they need us to play. You know what I mean? If we turn our backs on the colonial powers and not allow them to take advantage of us anymore, you know what I mean? They finish. You know, that kind of way. So even if they don't want to do right by us and give us some type of reparations and justice, if they could force Haiti to pay them for freeing themselves, you understand where I'm coming from, right? But if they don't want to do that, we could go about it our own way. You know what I mean? Through proper education, through fighting against the people in our society today who walk around here like there's somebody, and all they are individuals who continue to oppress us with that foolishness. You understand where I'm coming from, Mom?
I think, yeah.
Thank you very much, caller. Appreciate it.
And again, we can do two things at the same time, My dissertation was around colonialism and Bahamian education. And I wouldn't tell you how many moons ago that was now, right? But that was before I knew anything about reparations. So to say that the work of freeing is work that we have done, are doing, and will continue to do. And we do that work in tandem with the work of agitating for reparations. And just to be clear, because some of the callers have said, you, Dr. Campbell, this is not a Dr. Campbellian movement, right? This is not me. I think maybe we need to bring her and the whole committee on the show next time.
Right, let's do that.
It is a regional movement, and it is a global movement.
And you have the full support of the government, apparently, as we heard in the press conference last week. The minister representing the Minister of Foreign Affairs saying that you're whatever you see fit. This is the way the government will go as well, it seems. We're getting some interesting text messages. You can call in as well. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. So what happens next? You're here, you relaunched the committee. There's traction here and there, a little bit here and there. What is the very next step?
So the very next step is for us to continue our public education campaigns. For example, yesterday we collaborated with Antiquities Museums and Monuments out at Fort Montague with the reenactment that they did out there. And we're able to bring in some drumming, Rastafari, pour libation for the ancestors, and just bring awareness about the importance of emancipation and Emancipation Day, and try and raise awareness really about the significance of that day. We are engaged with, and I think I can say, going into the public schools and talking with young people, right? And again, this is the emancipation of ourselves that some of the callers had referenced, right? Speaking to the young people and letting them know what this history is, how the history has affected them, right? That the national honors, why the national honors is maybe more significant than the king's honors, or, you know, the language that you speak and the importance of being able to have that. So there's things that we're doing in terms of just, again, the public education, keeping awareness of what reparations is, and then also going after more maybe definitely practical things and as well as maybe some more loftier things like the Crown land issue.
Right. Now, you mentioned the African Union and 2025?
Yes.
Year of reparations. Is CARICOM thinking like that as well? And what for the Africans do they think that means?
Well, there is a conference actually at the end of this month in Brazil, which is the pre-conference for the Pan-African Congress, which is going to be taking place in November in Togo. And so the Bahamas Reparations Committee has been invited to participate in both of those congresses. And those types of conversations will be had there. Yeah. But definitely the bringing together the African Union is on the agenda of CARICOM.
Right. So I think you're going to have to say this again. We're running out of time, but you're going to have to say this again because people are texting. They heard reparations and just started to text without listening to what you said.
Okay.
You've not once mentioned a check for any individual person.
Yeah.
This is about nations and building nations and public institutions.
And development.
But people are asking, well, will my white grandmother who had a black grandfather get a check? Lots of our ancestors are mixed up. That's not what we're talking about here.
No, it's a developmental plan. So there would be everybody, white Bahamians, black Bahamians, Asian Bahamians would benefit.
Yeah, everybody in the Bahamas.
Everybody in the Bahamas would benefit. Because when we talk about things like the public health crisis, which is on the 10-point plan, everybody benefits when we have a better public health system.
Right. We're all afraid to go to certain places for
Right.
stuff. And why is that? And we need to make sure it's better. But this might be a way this can happen.
Yeah, right. I mean, we need funds. The region was underdeveloped, and in the article that very good outline after World War II, the countries that there was a Colombo plan, right, that was enacted so that these countries that were destroyed had monies to build back up. After colonialism and the colonial masters could no longer get anything out of, they have wrung the region dry, right? Like an orange and flung it out, as Eric Williams gave as an example. There was no plan to say, okay, let's come in and help develop these countries that we left in a state of underdevelopment. Right. And so reparations is about restoring to the place where you would be had the damage never had been done, right? And that's not restoring the black people, right? That's restoring the countries.
Right.
So everybody would benefit.
Yeah. Well said. Same reason that you, texter, might be much more willing to go to a hospital in a different part of the country or to send your children to universities in other parts of the country as opposed to within the Caribbean. Think about the reasons why that is. And look at the very short history of these universities and hospitals in this part of the world compared to other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Why was that the case? Right?
Absolutely.
Just think about it. Things that you think, well, that's just how it is in the Bahamas. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it like that in the Bahamas? It's deeper than you're thinking.
And the history, again, I feel like I'm saying it, but the history has consequences, right? And so maybe we just need to be more familiar with what exactly that history is, and then we could understand how it's played out in various ways and various aspects.
Yeah.
Right?
How can people get more information about the committee?
So absolutely, you can follow us on Facebook at Reparations242, on Instagram at Bahamas National Reparations Committee, and also on Twitter or X. I said we're relaunching, so our social media is coming back into effect, but we had a really great post about emancipation yesterday. You can follow us on social media and find out more about what we're doing. And I even invite, especially those people who may feel like reparations is a farce or a waste of time, to really follow us and come out to some of our events, right? We would love to engage with you and talk with you so that we can have conversations about what it is that we're trying to do and get understanding. And you don't have to agree with us, right? But if you come out and learn more, then it might just open up your perspective as to how these things could actually be beneficial for everyone.
All right. Dr. Naomi Hall Campbell Dean, always a great conversation. And again, next time we've got to bring some more of the committee members. But thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Let's take a break, folks, and then we'll be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Old pirates, yes, they rob I. Sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom?
Attention, all fall 2024 applicants to University of the Bahamas. The new academic year is fast approaching and we're thrilled to welcome you to UB. But first, we need your help. If you've started your online application, now is the time to submit all outstanding supporting documents. Make sure to send in your transcripts and copies of relevant passport pages urgently. To secure your acceptance to UB, your application must be fully processed. Remember to keep checking your emails for important updates and reminders. Orientation and advisement for new students kicks off on Wednesday, August 7th, and classes begin Monday, August 19th. This message is brought to you by the Office of Recruitment and Admissions at University of the Bahamas.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Calling all young champions, supporters, sidekicks, and wise mentors. Are you ready to unleash your back-to-school superpowers? Fly into John Bull Business Center, gear up, and enjoy a super 20% off all school supplies and 10% off on teaching aids. And that's not all. With every purchase now through September 7th, enter to win a $3,000 shopping spree. Zoom in to John Bull Business Center today and gear up like a true super student.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama Market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News Sales Representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper says Lynden Pinling International Airport is too small and projected an additional $200 million in investment for the airport over the next 18 months. Cooper is also the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation. So the Airports Conference of the Americas, speaking of that, which is currently taking place at Bahamar Convention Center, that even though it's beautiful, LPIA is too small. He says we've seen a significant level of growth in tourist arrivals, and with 2023 being a record-setting year, with air arrivals 10% ahead of the prior year, LPIA is now one of the busiest airports in the Caribbean. He says, as a result, we are projecting another $200 million in investment over the next 12 to 18 months. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. BML Properties Limited is hoping a New York State court will see that actions by China Construction America Incorporated caused it to lose not only the Bahamar Resort development, but more than $1.5 billion when interest is tacked on to the cost of the development. BML is owned by Bahamar's former developer Sarkis's Merlion. CCA had sought to have a huge chunk of BML's damages claim barred from future hearings, but New York Supreme Court Justice Andrew Barrack, who's presiding over the matter, threw out the claims made by CCA that would have slashed BML's chance of reclaiming hundreds of millions of dollars. Fishermen are looking to start the crawfish season at $12.75 per pound, but want to go as high as $15 per pound for the season. President of the National Fisheries Association, Keith Carroll, telling Guardian Business that for the past 10 years, crawfishermen have been averaging around $14 to $15 per pound for crawfish, and outside of something unforeseen happening this year, he's expecting the same thing. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Friday before the holiday, your market movers, APD Limited moving 50 shares, closing up 36 cents to $45. Consolidated Water down 7 cents, closing at $5.60. Emira Incorporated up 10 cents to $8.74. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,939.66, up 0.39. Recapping the week, the local market ended the week with 81,503 shares crossing the exchange, with 30 trades accumulating a value of $360,000, $360,547. The BISX All Share Index gained 11.86 points, or 0.405%. Year to date, the index is up 87.63 points, or 3.073%. The week's volume leader was Bahamas First Limited, moving 40,500 shares for a value of $81,850 in 5 trades. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Laverne Gardner, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity, Dwight.
And I will talk with you again soon. Thank you.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
We'll talk tomorrow morning.
You better watch it. That might end up happening anyway. But
Listen.
Yeah, that's what you think. Anyway, we'll see. Have a good one. Thank you again. I'll be back tomorrow morning, though, with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.